my name is Brackins here at Brackins Macadamia Orchard. We are a macadamia orchard. My father started in 2014. I just recently took over about a year and a half ago. We're located here in Plant City, Florida. We are available to the public, but by appointment only. You can do that by sending a text message or a phone call to me online, or Facebook, Instagram, any social media we have that you can find us at Brackins Macadamia Orchard. We sell trees year-round, unless we sell out, of course, and nuts are available in the fall time. Once the trees are mature, they should produce 40 to 50 pounds of nuts per tree per year. This is inside the husk. I'll show you how to husk them later. You want your nut to be ready when they should snap off the tree like a lime, or you'll have a couple nuts that fall into the ground, and then usually once we see that a couple nuts that fall to the ground, we'll strip the tree. Most of our trees get about 15 to 20 feet tall. Well, like I said, they should produce the same year that you purchase it, or at least flower. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of crop off of a little tree, but they'll probably double in the next couple of years. If you see this foil right here, this is how we make trees off of the mature. For example, this tree's already producing, so once we grow roots on this, we'll cut it off and plant it. So your tree should produce the following year that you purchase a tree. So they should flower in February, and then they produce in the fall time. So right now, August, September, October, we'll be picking them and husking them and then drying them. We have a lot of different varieties. We can't tell the difference between the nut and the taste. As for the yield, some varieties do better than others, but majority of our trees are hybrids and they come from seedlings. So we call it the FloridaFreeLiving nut. I wouldn't think too much into varieties. As for macadamia trees, all of them do relatively well. We won't make trees or air layers off trees that don't yield a good crop. We just dig a hole about the size of the pot, throw it in there. They like well-drained sandy soil. They're relatively easy. When you buy a tree from us, I'll give you a care sheet. It's got a ratio for fertilizer on there if you wish to fertilize it. You don't have to. It's recommended though. You got to be careful when you first get the tree because you don't want to over-fertilize it. And they can also lack a lot of micronutrients. That's why it's recommended that you do fertilize it. For water, well-drained sandy soil, so you don't want to overwater it. But when it's raining a lot, we really don't water it that often. In the wintertime, probably 3 or 4 times a week for about an hour, 2 hours. But you can see, like here, a lot of the freeze kind of hit us pretty hard this year. Reason was because we're in a low spot, and the first time they called for a freeze, I'm like, okay, I'll run my sprinkler. So we've survived a couple freezes in the past couple of years, but we got hit 2 weekends after that, and we didn't know our farm got down to 25 degrees until I looked at it the day after. I'm like, oh
yeah.
Like, I wasn't here for that. So I guess it's my fault.
What's their cold tolerance? Can they get down to the high 20s and be okay?
Once they're mature, which should take about 8 to 10 years, they can withstand temperatures as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit. These are some of our good big trees.
Nice, these are beautiful.
Look like trees. But the squirrels ate all the nuts off these trees. Yeah. I've done it in there. Yep. So I have been living with type 1 diabetes. I also have a CGM here. A little flex action for y'all. For going on 22 years now. And macadamia nuts are very good for people living with both type 1 and type 2 diabetes because they're very low in sugar, high in fat, and they have very good healthy fats for you. So you can pretty much eat as many as you want without, affecting your blood sugar. So they're good for you, lots of vitamins, minerals, whatever. But I just had to share that about. gonna go into the drying chamber, so I can show you in there. Well, here's half of a twin nut. There's one somewhere else, but it'll be the exact same thing on the other side. Oh, here it is. This is a twin nut. This is pretty cool.
Wow, yeah.
So if you guys are gonna dry your nuts at home, so you're gonna pick the nuts off your tree and then dehusk them immediately, which you can take a knife and peel it off. It should be ready to go. And then you'll want to put them in like maybe your laundry room, or if you have somewhere that's kind of dry and kind of low humidity, because if it's high humidity, they'll get moldy. You're gonna leave them in there for about 10 to 14 days, and then they're good to go to crack. If you're gonna crack them at home, you can use vice grips or a C-clamp. There's also a couple of videos on YouTube. People would put them in pool noodle tubes, then they'll hit them with a hammer, and they should crack perfectly like that. Just not the dog. Yeah. Here. Air that's just blowing up on them constantly. It's not too cold in here. You know, we have a dehumidifier. Our AC set to I think 85, but that's only because you know it's not humid in here, so it feels a lot cooler than that. If you dry them too fast, then they'll crack and kind of go bad. Here's some really big nuts that we picked. I kind of kept them separated. And these are just massive. You're not gonna find these in a store. Most likely not. Pretty cool. I could probably crack the rest of these. I'll crack some of these. Thanks. But what we have for sale is ready to go are all these trees here. And we are appointment only, so you can call or text 813-451-8698 or check out our Facebook, send us a message. We also post online when we're going to be out here having sales. So we should have some coming up at the end of September, all through October and November. Pricing is online on BrackinsMacadamiaOrchard.com. We also allow parking, so on neighbor.com we rent out spaces depending on what size you have, like a car, a bus, a boat, a trailer. It doesn't matter. If you go on neighbor.com, or you can send me a message and I can send you a link. If you got some junk you want to leave out here, that's perfectly fine. You can come and go as you please. As long as you stay away from the nursery and the nuts, we're good. But you can rent out a spot and leave your stuff here.